Welcome to the Mobile World Congress 2012 in Barcelona. And with us is Nicholas from Ericsson. How you doing, sir?
Very good, thanks.
I should even mention where Ericsson is because you guys are well known in the industry, and especially in the wireless industry. Can you talk to us about Ericsson and what role they play in the ecosystem?
Sure, so we've been around for a long time. We were founded already in 1876, so we have a long history of being in telecoms. Of course, by now we're a very large ICT player, covering everything from mobile broadband, applications, operational systems, OSS, BSS components, as well as we're really large managed services player as well.
And talking about Ericsson, one of the things I always hear every time I'm always reading telecom magazines and everything, it seems to be that Ericsson is always increasing their growth in terms of coverage. You guys are like really a one solution for any provider out there who wants to build an infrastructure, either to move, support, or even increase their productivity in the wireless industry.
No, it is true, and that's our core, right? So we've always been close to the network and being sure that we can facilitate the ground components of communications. Also going through all of the steps that we've taken as an industry, starting fixed line, GSM, 3G, the whole HSPA evolution, now LTE and heterogeneous networks, which is the latest talking point, I think, from a mobile industry point of view. So that's actually a strong core that we have, but it's interesting as well for us to be able to match the technology line that we have and have always had with a very strong services arm as well. Both from a consulting and systems integration point of view, but also managing the operations for our customers. We like to think of ourselves as being a very truly global player with our hands in most markets and most major operators.
And more importantly, I want to say congratulations of your contract with Sprint in the US. I think that was a big thing because you're talking about a large carrier like Sprint migrating to a LTE solution and coming up to Ericsson for you guys to provide that solution. It's an amazing step because not only your penetration in the US and around the world is so increasingly growing, but you are showing that you can provide every provider out there a one key turn solution.
Yeah, and I think US is an important market for us, as for anyone, being such a big and leading market. And having Sprint, of course, we're excited about that. Also seeing that as a continuation of our managed services business that we've had with them since before. So that was a great win for us. In the US also, of course, being one of the markets that really have pushed the limits for smartphone penetration. It's been really interesting for us to be deeply embedded there and really being able to pick up on early learnings for how you can actually optimize and fine-tune network behaviors as traffic really starts to take off. And I think that's a main learning for us from a global point of view, is that we're now seeing the mobile broadband business going from being in an introductory phase to really a massive explosion phase. We're just excited about all of that.
And what does Ericsson see in terms of the increase of wireless communication? Now, it used to be just a regular cell phone communication or data communication to the end user, but now the new expansion of M2M, NFC, everything, I pretty much see Ericsson playing a key role of helping providers provide solutions to this new technology trend, especially in cloud computing that is coming to market today.
No, absolutely, and I think for us it's been an interesting journey as well, because as I said, starting with a telecommunications background but moving into ICT fully, it's really important for us to be cautious and interested and leading in how the overall market is developing. Our view of that is what we call the network society, which is this idea of moving from us just having one or a few devices each to actually starting to connect up everything. And when we say everything, we think that's probably something more likely to be 50 billion in a few years' time than the 5-6 billion subscriptions that you're seeing today. So it's a huge transition. It relates to M2M, as you say, but it's also something that means that the way we will have to interact with our environment will have to be completely different. And actually here at Mobile Congress, it's interesting that we can match the here and now capabilities that we always would bring with some of our thoughts around how all of it is evolving from our R&D labs. And here to show, related to that development, we're for example showing the possibility of taking your body as the transmitter of data. So what that means is, imagine that you have a mobile phone in your hand, starting your MP3 song, and you want to share that with some friends. Just touching the loudspeaker. You're holding the mobile phone in one hand, touching the loudspeaker with the other. The music is streaming through your body out through the loudspeaker, and you're sharing it with your friends. That, for a few years ago, I think many would agree, that sounds science fiction, but that's one of the R&D projects we're showing here today.
That goes to show how profound Ericsson is in terms of providing new technology to the new market.
Yeah, we think so. And the interesting thing is being able to take those early steps that we're taking in the labs and then starting in shows like this to understand together with our partners how will that transform into business. So it's also a way for us to not wait for the market to happen, but actually be part of shaping those next steps. And that's why we are so happy to be in events like this, engaging with our customers. And last year, having more than 5,000 customers coming into our booth. Of course, we're hoping to see even more this year.
Oh, this is actually has increased. I'm just so happy that they actually expanded the coverage for MWC for the time. The weather is amazing. And by the way, your booth is amazing. You guys have an incredible area here. It goes to show the amazing and large portfolio that Ericsson has for the provider market and the consumer market out there. And the expansion that you guys are doing today and showing the new product that you just represented goes to show how far Ericsson is going. And it looks like there's no stop to how far they can take this new technology.
Well, we surely don't think there is. And I also think, as you say, in the way for us to expand, I mean, of course, we see organic growth being sort of the main way for us to do that. But also, as an example of another way of doing that, thinking about acquisitions, that's also one of the great things we're having here this year, which is Telcordia, which is within our OSS and BSS part of the portfolio, a way for us to also really show that we can expand not just organically, but also bring in exciting peer companies into our operations.
And that's the amazing part of Ericsson, that increased amount of portfolio, where any provider out there, no matter if it's in the US, Latin America, or around the world, can actually provide an incredible solution as a one key turn solution to anybody who's interested in doing business with Ericsson. And Mr. Niclas, I do appreciate your time with us today. And as always, it's always great to talk to one of the big giants in the industry.
Thanks a lot, yeah.
Thank you. And this is Nelson Pereira from bnetTV at the Mobile World Congress 2012 in Barcelona.